Welcome to Fix and Fly, the business podcast, which identifies common business issues for you to watch out for in your day-to-day business life. So tune in every fortnight where we speak to leaders of corporates to SMEs where you can implement their strategies into your business. I'm your host, Larissa Logan from Fixity, where we help turn businesses around. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the Fix and Fly podcast.
Thanks, Larissa, for having me. It's so good to be here.
Do you mind giving our listeners a little bit of a background around your journey with iCollect?
Yes, of course. iCollect is a product that I purchased nearly 6 years ago. We are a debt collection software platform that empowers our clients to get paid. They get access to 3 pre-programmed debt collection agency letters. It's pretty much no commission collections. Our clients can load a debt, chase the debt, manage the process themselves. The debtor thinks the debt collection agency is chasing them. They get paid or get communication in most cases. And it's just this great tool that has taken me on a journey to empower businesses to get paid. And without the stress of going, will this debt collection agency do a good job? How is it all going to work? What's going to happen? We give them that certainty, the structure, and the tools with the power of that debt collection agency letter to make it happen. It's good. It's essential, I think, for a business that has debt.
Tell me about your new journey that you're embarking on around this piece of fintech.
Yes, so I'm a member of the Ministry of Awesome. They have put me on their accelerator program for iCollect, and it's been a really eye-opening, magical experience. You become part of a community that brings your business and your ideas and your energy into a support network that has the experience to look at the technology that you already work with to go, okay, how can we level this up and make this a real world stage product that can make an impact on a global front, not just in New Zealand. The community is very supportive, and the other founders on there are they're just great. It's been amazing.
What's the state of the debt collection sector in New Zealand at the moment?
It's a bit like the Wild West. I would say there's 2 aspects to it. There's the aspect of being a business owner going, I need debt collection. So as a debt collector, you are looking at the types of debts coming across your books. You're looking at what they need in sense of support. There's always going to be debt collection for businesses that just can't get away with not charging up front. There's always going to be a need for debt collectors for bad business operators, fundamentally, who don't have systems and structure, and just general disputes and different angles. I think we have it's harder to get hold of people in the sense because people know that they owe the money. Money is tight, money is hard at the moment. I don't care where you sit on the spectrum. Business could be good, business could be bad. But as a debt collector, you're trying to get hold of people that just don't want to answer their phones because they know they don't have the money.
So what's your special technique to get them to answer or to make them aware that you're chasing them for debt?
So our letters, for us, they go out under Guardian Credit Services, but for the clients using the iCollect model, the debtor thinks that my debt collection agency is actually chasing the debtor, but our client is actually doing it all through their manual or their automation that they've had access to. The debtor is actually getting a letter that states that, hey, you just owe us this $1,000 or this $100 or this $200. That was already outstanding. They already knew they had to pay it, and they haven't actually had to get this letter and go, oh no, there's another 25% on top of this. Holy moly, how am I going to pay this? These letters go out via email and text, and they are asked to communicate with our client directly. We get an 85% response rate, whether it's good or bad, and that is just what some people actually want. They just want a response to know whether someone's angry and pissed off and in dispute about something, or whether they are actually going to organise a payment plan, or what they're going to do. There's some sort of resolution.
Are you seeing an increase in overdue debtor payments in the last 12 months?
We've seen an increase in clients that typically didn't have problems before but now have problems. We've seen people who go, oh, I suddenly have to prioritise something I never had to prioritise before.
What can a business owner do to improve their accounts receivable?
Plenty. And it all starts with some very simple basics. Terms and conditions. The number of businesses I see without even a bare basic terms and conditions is like outstanding. I've seen a publicly listed company without debt collection clauses in their contracts, and they've got thousands of invoices going out each month. So go back to the original basic of what is your contract that you have with your potential client, from quotes, estimates, and basically signing up. What are they signing to? What are your stipulations? What are you going to be your payment terms? How many days past due are you going to send them to a debt collector? Have all of that stated out clearly in your terms and conditions so that when they sign up, your client knows exactly where they stand, and you make sure that they sign it or do something that authorises that they have acknowledged that they have seen this, because it means that you have really got that strength before you have those awkward conversations. From the minute somebody comes on board as a client, you need to be speaking to them. What are your touch points? You need to have email contact. You need to have your sales team going, hey, I don't think this client's very happy. This might cause us a problem come invoicing time because of X, Y, and Z. And if you start knowing where those problems are, you might go, okay, come invoice. We might only invoice for this part because we're not going to have an issue with it. And we'll leave out the part that might have a dispute. That way you're separating out the problem before you bundle it all together and you've got a dispute for the whole thing. And really, just creating more problems. You might as well get some money, worry about the dispute in a different way. The other thing is to go, okay, at what point do all of our staff trained and touch points know how to take payments? Do they all know what the process is? I've been to somewhere the other day and one of the staff members said, I don't know how to take the payment. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll just send it via email. I was like, oh, well, that's very confident of you that you think that I'm going to pay. I mean, I did, but they've sort of opened themselves up. They had this person ready with their card to pay at the time with 100% payment certainty, and then they've just let them walk out the door. And then it's going, okay, with our accounts team, or, what have we got our zero reminders on and our MYOB basic reminders on? Do you know how many people don't even have those on? I mean, it's terrifying. A lot of people don't want to send an email. They don't want to check that maybe the zero emails haven't been bounced and not been received. Just send another email that says, hey, did you receive our invoice? What's going on? Happy to work on a payment plan. Call, try and text them, but just be quite, just business-like. And then if they don't pay, are you going to follow your terms and conditions, or are you going to set something different up? The other thing to do is, if you do think you want a debt collector, is create an email and just say, hey, look, we have heard nothing. We're going to send this out for debt collection in so many days if we don't have payment by XYZ, and see what happens. Honestly, there'll be a lot of responses just from that, just the threat alone of, I'm taking this seriously and I want to get paid. Like, seriously, I've got staff to pay and mobile phones to pay and whatever else is on their, list. So just don't bury it. Sit there and go, right, I have to have a practical conversation with myself, if it's just you on your own, or with a team, and go, what is our plan? If we don't have one, this needs to get sorted.
I think a lot of people are really concerned about that customer relationship, and that stops them from pursuing overdue arrears. What's your view on that?
For those that have that stop credit option, that's great because they've got the power of that tool. But for people who don't have that stop credit option, they've done the work and they're a regular client, I think some of it comes down to a business discussion between whoever is in the team dealing with it. Is this the first time they've just stopped paying their invoice? Or is this a regular thing, And if you've got that stop credit, you can go, okay, well, we stop, and then we just turn them to cash. They just pay cash front up just to get them off the credit, if that would be my suggestion.
How about the balance between managing that customer relationship and actually chasing down the debt? Like, there's a fine line in between there. How do you decide at what point do you enforce?
Some people would just have no hesitation, straight into it. They're like, right, we've got this deadline, they've signed our terms and conditions, this is what it is, we're going to follow through with it. Others are like, oh, we've only got 10 clients on our whole entire book, and if we lose this one, what does that mean for us? And that's where you've got to go back and you go, okay, is this just the one invoice they haven't paid? Are we calling and talking to them and saying, hey, look, we see that you haven't paid your invoice, so we really want to work with you. Is there a way that we can do a payment plan, or can you drip feed us XYZ each month? Or if you can keep us updated on when you might be able to give us another lump sum, depends on the value, of course, and what you're prepared to have as your internal benchmark of going back to doing work for them or not doing work for them. The main thing is that every business is going to be different on this. Some just don't care about the relationship. Some do. Some are at their wits' end. They have been trying for 6, 8, 9, 10 months, and I'm like, oh, I think you need to cut your losses. And these people have, they've probably got new numbers by now, new email addresses, contact information's gone out of date. And
look, my view is that cash is king. We're in a really tough economy at the moment, and you can't wait, right? And you can't, if your invoice is due on the 20th of the month, it should be paid on the 20th of the month. If it's 10 days past due, then you need to start seriously looking at enforcement and how you're going to protect yourself, because you let one go, you let another go, the next minute you're actually having to call me, and that's not a good situation to be in.
No, it's not. And that's where it comes down to whether you're a business operator that's prepared to make those calls or a business operator who's just not prepared to.
So give me a percentage. What's the percentage of customers you deal with? How many are making the call like on week 6?
20%.
And then week 8?
You'd be looking closer to 40. And then the
3
balance,
months?
wow. You might get another 10, and then the rest of them sit in this, I've been 8 months, 9 months, 12 months. I had a call the other day.
It's a long time for the cash to be flowing in, and that's what really is killing a lot of New Zealand SMEs, because it's hindering their ability to grow, it's hindering their ability to just pay their day-to-day costs.
I agree. I had a call the other day and somebody said, look, we're owed like $80,000 or $80,000. I was like, oh, over how many invoices and blah, blah, blah. But they are so busy running around trying to get their new business to make up for the stuff that's there that they're forgetting. They're like, oh, we'll get to it, we'll load it with you, we'll get on with it. And I'm like, do you know how much faster it will be to get that money paid than you running around trying to get new business to then do the work, to then get paid to make up for that you haven't been paid on? And so some of that's just business decisions within organisations, and you can't control that. We're just here, unfortunately, to be the ambulance at the bottom of the hill when you're even further down the ambulance at the bottom of the hill. You're like the hospital resuscitation, I mean, you must, when you're doing what you do sometimes, you go, you must do an assessment. You go, how did this business get so bad? Where could they actually improve themselves so they didn't get to this position? And so that's what I'm always trying to do. I wasn't surprised that there weren't lots of females doing it, because it is typically not viewed as a female-dominated industry. There are lots of females in it. There's lots of them running businesses, but they're potentially owned by other corporates. There's no governing body for debt collectors in New Zealand.
Do you think there should be?
Oh, absolutely. I was actually calling other debt collecting owners to be like, hi, I'm in debt collection, and it would be great to sort of know who other debt collectors are. And I now know a few of them, and we all know where our wheelhouse of strengths are, and we go, hey, look, that's not really in my warehouse, so we refer work sometimes. But seriously, I was like, where's the community? Like, accountants go to the bookkeepers and the whatever, they've all got little groups of things they can do. There's like nothing.
So what should a Kiwi business owner look out for when they are looking to choose a debt collector?
I think it comes down to a few things. One is, do you want someone to collect the debt on your behalf, or do you want to sell your debt? Because there's two different types of debt collection. Some agencies specifically just buy debts for so many cents in the dollar, and that works for some people because of who their debtors are, and it's just too challenging to try and get that money back. And they'd rather get a few cents in the dollar than nothing at all. Then there's the debt collectors that collect on behalf of the client, which is what we focus on doing. And that is where you go, okay, well, I think if you're looking at it, you've got to be going, what is their reputation? Do you feel a good rapport with these people? Are they listening to you? They may be good at the sales front up front, but are you actually getting weekly reports? Can you log into a system and see how the progress is going? The biggest one, there's two big ones. Do you have to pay the debt collection agency to get your debt back if they're not doing a good job? And the other one is, when are they going to pay your money out? So if the debtor pays the debt collection agency, what's the time frame for paying you? Some of them are horrendously long, like 3-4 months. I don't like, just bad. So you've really got to be looking at, what does this mean for my cash flow? What is my communication? How do I get updated on everything that's happening with that debt collector? Who is going to be my point of contact? Do they even understand who I am as a business owner? Because some of them are, large corporates, and they focus on large corporate clients. They're not really focusing on your small to medium-sized businesses.
So tell us the craziest story about a piece of debt collecting that you've done.
Oh, this was one that we acquired when I purchased the business, and this was terrible. This was a husband and wife scenario. It was $100,000, and she was like, is making him pay $10 a week. We have to manage this $10 payment every week. I was like, how long is this going to be on the books for? But she was like, it's the principle of the matter. And I'm like, okay, fine, we'll just keep plugging that money along to you. And then I think one time we had somebody call up. The guy said, I'm living on a tent on the side of the motorway. I was like, living on a tent on the side of the motorway? I think you'd be moved off by now. You just hear funny stories, but a lot of sad, like relatable stories. People have seriously just got themselves in a pickle, and you're trying to help them navigate themselves out of it, and it's not fun.
Are there any sectors that are worst hit by being bad payers?
Medical have a problem. A lot of GP practices and medical surgeries and anything medical.
That's really tough, right? Because they do the work, from a not so much a business perspective, but for a social perspective. And so I guess chasing sick patients for cash can be really challenging for them.
It's hard because they are there to look after us. They are there to go, hey, you need antibiotics, or you need to go off to a specialist, or whatever it is. And they are doing us, our kids, everyone, a good, amazing service. I've sat in the doctor's surgery often, and people have just walked out. Like, they've gone straight to their GP, walked straight out the door, and the receptionist is like running after them, hightailing it, like literally, sorry, so-and-so, are you going to pay? And they've literally gone troopsing on back.
So tough. It's like running out of a restaurant after eating a meal.
I know. And I feel for these people because it's embarrassing. And then you're sitting there in the surgery going, I can't believe this is happening in front of me. Like, really?
So tell me the best part of your job.
Having those conversations with business owners that start with, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do, or I've got this problem, how do I address it? I need to get paid. Like, I really need to get paid. I get to say, hey, here are some suggestions around how you can avoid getting these bad debtors, and then seeing them implement them, and then that works. And then the other part of it is them calling me up or sending an email or whatever and going, oh my gosh, Amanda, this is amazing. I literally loaded something this morning and it's paid this afternoon, or I loaded something last week and I've had a response. I didn't even think I'd hear back from these people. I thought that I was going to have to write off XYZ. I'm literally in shock, and I get to hear all this elation that comes out of these people that have literally been so desperate to get paid. They are just biting at the bit to go, I need some help here. And you get them that help, and they just, the dignity and their pride, and they're like, yay, I can keep doing my business. It's a wonderful feeling, and I love that I get to do that. Like, I'm just such a pump in the air moment that I get to do that. Help people just get what they deserve, and it's wonderful.
Well, it's great to end the podcast on a high. So thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciated it, and all of your tips for our SME business owners.
My pleasure. It's been great to be here and have a chat and, shoot the breeze.
Yeah, and look forward to see what happens with your piece of fintech in the future. So good luck.
Thank you so much, Larissa. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you enjoy the Fix and Fly podcast, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and share with anyone you think will find this useful. We look forward to seeing you next time.